Showtime. Another great Thursday night.
Yeah. Hey, YouTubers. If you like what you see, make sure you click subscribe below. Today in our Thursday night triple threat episode, we're going to be reviewing the Tennessee Titans and Jacksonville Jaguars from last week, and then previewing the Green Bay Packers and Philadelphia Eagles. And as you might have guessed, I lost the punishment.
In a world where losing in your fantasy football league isn't an option, we present to you Triple Coverage Podcast.
Coming to you live from TCP Studios in Las Vegas, Nevada, Jay Up and James Up are your co-hosts for everything fantasy football related. So sit back, crack a cold one, and enjoy the show.
Welcome to Triple Coverage Podcast. It is Thursday, so is our Thursday night triple threat episode. We will review the Tennessee Titans and Jacksonville Jaguars from last Thursday, not the barn burner you would expect.
Snooze fest.
And we'll also preview a game that might be good, the Philadelphia Eagles and Green Bay Packers. I am your co-host, Jay Up, and you can find me on Twitter at TripleCoJ. Here with my co-host, my brother James.
What's up, guys?
And you can find him on Twitter at TripleCoJames.
Mm-hmm. Nice and easy.
So, we spun last week on the Wheel of Punishment.
Right.
We landed on a karaoke for the third time.
Yeah.
It would have been me. I would have been okay with that because I have a couple of songs in the chamber. But instead, we spun again and picked the
inflatable ring toss.
Inflatable ring toss.
So Jay's going to be wearing a gigantic football with a goalpost on the top, and I'm going to be throwing these 3 rings over it that all have number values on them for points. Tries to get at least 200 points on them.
So stick with us later for that. But
If
you'll
you're
be seeing that in about 10 minutes.
If you're listening on iTunes, definitely head over to YouTube for this one. YouTube, Triple Coverage Podcast, and you can see Jay wearing an inflatable, ridiculous, what is it? A football plus goalpost, I guess you would say.
Football close, yeah, and not only that, but like the strap is not very long, so I have to like hold it in place because you can't tie it. It's like a plastic strap that you.
Jay always stays strapped no matter what. Let's move on to this Tennessee Titans game. Get it over with. Tennessee Titans at Jacksonville. It was 20-7. Jacksonville won. 14 punts again. So every single game so far has been in the teens as far as the punts go. But the under hit very easy, which is what we both wanted. I didn't really want to pick a side in this game. I think I ended up picking a side. I don't know if I was right or wrong. I think I said Tennessee. But I really like the under. I had it highlighted on my paper, and it went well under.
Yeah,
it wasn't even close.
I had Jacksonville and under. I like them quite a bit as well. I knew that Jacksonville was going to have to play well at some point, so why not at home against a division team? So they did just that.
The 2 things I did want to see from the game was how Derrick Henry ran and how Leonard Fournette ran and who was going to have a better game. Both very similar games. Henry had 17 carries. Fournette had 15. Henry had 44 yards and a touchdown, which saved him. Leonard Fournette had 66 yards. One of his runs, again, Jay, was 60 yards, and he still finished with under 67.
Yeah, 69 yards to be exact was his longest.
But the difference was in the passing game. Leonard Fournette, Jay, had 6 catches on 8 targets. So 8 targets for him. Derrick Henry, 1 catch, 2 yards. So they almost ended up with the same amount of points. I think Henry ended up with just under 12, and Fournette had 15. So because of those extra targets and those extra catches in a PPR league, Leonard Fournette actually had a better day, and he didn't have the touchdown. So that was good to see. On the passing side of things, though, Jay, Adam Humphries had 9 targets. Delaney Walker, 9 targets. Those seem to be the 2 guys that Mariota feels most comfortable with throwing to, which to me is a surprise because they have Corey Davis and A.J. Brown.
Yeah, A.J. Brown had 5 targets, but only caught 1 of them for 4 yards. Corey Davis did a little bit better. He had 4 targets, caught 3 of them for 44 yards.
But just not playable. They're not playable.
They're not playable. I mean, he obviously is going to the short yardage guys. He's got Adam Humphries, who's in the slot. And he's got Delaney Walker, who's his tight end.
He even throws downfield to Tajay Sharp every once in a while. He had 3 targets deep and had 2 catches for 70 yards.
But you know what? The offensive line looked really bad this game. Yep. Not only could Derrick Henry not run behind that offensive line, but Mariota had no time. He got sacked 9 times.
That's ridiculous.
9 times by the Jacksonville defense.
I'm surprised he hasn't got hurt again.
So, he had no time to throw, so you knew it was a recipe for disaster. Minshew, on the other hand, 0 sacks. So, and he didn't actually light it up. He was 20 for 30. For only 204 yards, but he had the 2 touchdowns and no mistakes. His quarterback rating was only 55.7, so it wasn't like he just lit the world on fire. This was a very sloppy game, like you said, a lot of punts. a lot of holding penalties. So many so that Tom Brady tweeted at halftime that he was turning the game off
Yeah.
because he was so mad that all the holding penalties.
Yeah, that had to be an absolute joke.
Well, he came back afterwards and said, I'm pro ref. He said, like, later on.
Of course.
Because everyone was like, wow, you're against the refs. He's like, no, I'm pro ref. I'm just saying that there was a lot of holding penalties.
What do you want him to say? Of course he's going to say that. But on the other side, though, Jacksonville, DJ Chark had another good game. But if you look at the actual stat box, you can see that DJ Chark only had 5 targets. He caught 4 balls for 76 yards and a touchdown, but only 5 targets. D.D. Westbrook had 9 targets. So almost double the targets. He just didn't do as much as Chark. He had 5 catches for 46 yards and didn't get a touchdown. So it looked like DJ Chark again was a wide receiver 1 on this team, but I'm still not 100% sure that it's not still D.D. Westbrook getting the most targets. And then second most is going to be Fournette from time to time. So between Westbrook, Fournette, and Chark, those are the only 3 guys, in my opinion, that's sustainable to play every single week. The guys like Chris Conley and the Keelan Colts of the world, to me at this point, are just not playable.
Yeah, I like what we saw from Fournette as far as a snap count, and as far as like it's coming. The big game is gonna come. Like eventually, it's gonna happen. He's getting almost 100%.
Yeah,
of the snaps.
There's no one else there. He's getting almost every single carry, every touch, every target in the backfield is going to Leonard Fournette. So like you said, eventually Jacksonville's going to start playing some weaker defenses, and he's going to start getting those 120-yard games with 5 catches and maybe have a Christian McCaffrey-like game every once in a while.
Yeah, hopefully.
It's coming.
Fingers crossed that it's coming.
So for our bets, our wall bet,
Yes.
it actually was a lot closer than I thought. Listen to these barn burner teams. I had Minshew, Derrick Henry, and DJ Chark for a total of 51.1 points. Jay had Mariota, Leonard Fournette, and Delaney Walker for a total of 46.1. So I beat him by exactly 5 points, which was a lot closer than I thought because, again, Mariota did nothing at all. He only had 17 points. Fournette had 15, and Derrick Henry luckily got that touchdown because if he didn't, I would have lost by 1.
Yeah, the touchdown is what saved it, and it was like a 1-yard touchdown run.
It was a 1-yard touchdown run, exactly. So do we want to do your punishment first, or do you want to spin for next week? What do you want to do? Punishment first?
Yeah, let's do the punishment first.
Go ahead and strap that hat on. I'm going to grab the camera for everybody watching at home. I'm going to stand in the corner, and I'm going to throw a couple of these rings and see if I can land a couple of these suckers. I noticed that the 100-point ring is very small.
6 throws you get?
6 throws, I'll get at least 200 points. I guarantee you that. If this has anything to do with bowling, I should be good at, accuracy-wise.
This would be more like, I think, Frisbee.
Do you want to move on to the Eagles
Sure.
game?
Is it straight? Because I can't see it, obviously. Is it straight?
Well, it's on you, so no. It's backwards, but it's okay. Still looks like a football on a goalpost.
It's backwards.
Yeah, laces out.
Laces out? Okay.
You actually have it laces out. All right, ready?
All right.
We're going to go with 101 point first. All right, ready?
All right, so I'll move on to the next game here. So, as bad as the Thursday night games have been,
give me that, baby.
as bad as the Thursday night games have been recently, it just goes to show you that we will get a good game here and there. The Green Bay Packers and Philadelphia Eagles are next on the slate, and I have a feeling it's going to be better than this Titans Jaguars.
This is 125 total. All right, I need to land another 100 point to win
That's
this.
what your score is right
Yeah.
now? 125 total.
Yeah. This is the big one right here. Come on, stop moving. Get in there, baby.
So, Green Bay
This
is
one's just
actually
for fun.
favored. Green Bay is actually favored at... Oh, boy. That was a mess.
All right. I got my points, though. I got 225.
So, Green Bay... So, now we have to write down that 225 because if we ever land on that again and you have to wear it, then I have to do
Okay.
225.
I did a little waste. I'm trying to hit you in the face, but it hit your mic. Okay. 225. I'll remember.
225.
Yep.
Okay, so moving on to the next game here. The next Thursday's game, we have the Philadelphia Eagles at the Green Bay Packers. The Packers have actually been bet up to 5.5-point favorites, and the over-under is 45.
So the over-under dropped 1.5 from where I saw it. So
And not only that, but
I actually wrote down the only thing I really like in this game is the under. So I'm looking at right now that the couple things that stand out to me is a third down conversion rate that jumps out. Green Bay right now on third down conversions are second in the league, getting 56% of their third down conversions. That might be a huge reason why they're 3-0 right now and they're kind of rolling because they're getting it done on third down. Philadelphia on the other side of the ball, complete opposite. They're 1-2 right now. And their third down percentage is 29th. They're only getting 25% of their third down. That's
but you know what? It's
bad.
not. It's not Carson Wentz's fault. Like, he's had so many
I agree.
dropped balls from their receivers.
I agree.
He had 7 last week in that Detroit game.
He's thrown.
J.J. Arcega-Whiteside could have sealed the game up, and he just literally dropped the ball.
Somebody tweeted out that Carson Wentz has now thrown 2 consecutive game-winning passes to win the game, but they just weren't caught. Like, they could be 3-0 right now because one time was J.J. Arcega-Whiteside, and the week before that was Nelson Aguilar. So back-to-back weeks, he throws a game-winning touchdown where the receiver could have walked into the end zone. They dropped it. But that's the scenario. What happens when your stud receivers get hurt and you're having to throw to these third and fourth receivers and expecting them to be that Alshon Jeffrey or that Deshaun Jackson or that Zach Ertz. Those guys are not there. I mean, you know what I mean? You're having Aguilar and Arcega-Whiteside and Mac Hollins is who you're throwing to, and that affects it, obviously.
Yeah, and on the Green Bay side of things, like their defense, we talked about this in the offseason, and I've been pumping them up the last 3 weeks. Like their defense is so much better than it has been in the years past.
Yeah.
They actually spent some money and some time.
And picks.
Yes, looking at that defense. So Green Bay gives up the second least amount of fantasy points to the quarterback.
That's not good for Carson Wentz.
That's not too good for Carson Wentz. They also, on defense, they give up the third least amount to wide receivers, and they give up the least amount of fantasy points to the tight end position. The only thing that they're lacking right now is the running back position. They give up the third most points to the running back position, which is the exact opposite of Philadelphia. That's the one thing they're actually good at, is stopping the run.
Miles Sanders and Jordan Howard look to play both, especially Jordan Howard in your flex maybe. I think Miles Sanders is a must-start as an RB2.
Absolutely.
We also just got a message from the Alshon Jeffrey camp. Was listed as a full participant in today's practice. It's a good sign for Thursday night, so Alshon should be playing.
Alshon should be playing with Nelson Aguilar, which is actually better for him in my opinion because it moves him to the number 2 role instead of the number 3. It probably means... I think that Arcega-Whiteside is actually the one who's affected more because I think Mac Hollins is kind of the replacement for Deshaun Jackson.
Yeah.
And Deshaun Jackson is still not playing. They said he's going to miss 2 to 4 weeks with that abdominal strain.
Yeah, keep in mind that so far on the season, the Eagles are 0-3 against the spread, and the Packers are 3-0 against the spread. So I don't know if you care about trends, but if you do, you got to look at that one.
One other thing to look at, though, really fast, the Philadelphia defense, we talked about how bad they are against wide receivers and against the pass. Ronald Darby has been ruled out for the game. That's their corner. That's their number 1 corner. So it doesn't get any better for Philadelphia as far as stopping the pass.
Yeah, I'm a little worried at that point. I think it's going to be Green Bay and under.
Is this Adams' breakout game for the year? Because Adams has put together some okay weeks, but he hasn't had that big game.
Yeah, he's not been the same so far this season. I like him. I like Valdez-Scantling. I even like Jimmy Graham to get back into the fold. I think Jimmy Graham catches a touchdown here.
Aaron Rodgers in a little bit of a rant after the game, because him and LaFleur still aren't on the same page. I don't know why LaFleur would want this head coaching job knowing how strong-minded Aaron Rodgers is. Let's face it, this team is a passing team, and he's trying to make it to where it's more balanced. And I get that they're 3-0, but at some point, it's going to regress because they're not meshing together well.
I agree, but this is not the spot they're going to run either because you have Aaron Jones and Jamal Williams, and Philadelphia right now is second in the league in yardage given up on the ground. They're only giving up 57 yards a game.
But LaFleur's trying to make them.
But I'm going to say, this is not the spot to do it. This is a spot where it's clear as day that you need to throw against this Philly team and throw more. So you throw downfield, stretch the field out a little bit, maybe keep them honest enough to where you can establish the run. But should not be them coming out the very first drive and go run, pass, and then punt. If that happens, then I know Aaron Rodgers is going to be steaming. Let the guy throw the ball because they're weak at defense. Philadelphia is. Secondary's terrible. Let him throw the ball. Do not try to jam the ball down Aaron Jones' throat 25 times for 45 yards.
Yeah, well, Aaron Rodgers said, Devontae Adams only getting 4 targets is absolutely absurd.
We agree, Aaron. We agree. Every fantasy owner out there agrees.
Everyone but Matt LaFleur agrees.
Well,
so they have to do something. This has to be the game where Devontae Adams just gets peppered with targets. It has to be this game.
I agree. Nelson Aguilar right now is tied in the league for 10th in targets. He's got 28 targets through 3 weeks, which is a lot more than he should be having right now.
Which game do you think that fan is going to get invited to? The one that made the comment, because that was a pretty funny video.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not going to lie. That was actually, from what I read, no one passed away in that fire, but a building caught on fire, and they were saving people from the building. And a gentleman got on there. I saw it on Barstool Sports. A couple other outlets had it too. And he was literally getting interviewed by the Philadelphia News and said, he went up there and he was just dropping babies to me, and we was catching them. Unlike Aguilar.
Unlike Aguilar, and then he did the...
Yeah, and I couldn't stop laughing at that because he, in the middle of a tragic event like this, where, like I said, no one died, but he had the couple seconds to just take a dig at Nelson Aguilar.
But that shows you
how savage these Eagles
Phillies, Phillies fan base is. What have you done for me lately? And by lately, I mean the last 10 minutes.
And he caught 2 touchdowns, by the way.
Yeah, I was going to say, otherwise, boom, roasted. Here's how I see it going. Green Bay's not going to be able to run much. Aaron Jones, Jamal Williams are both going to be touchdown dependent. The Green Bay secondary is 5th, and with a banged-up receiving core, I don't like any of the Philadelphia receivers. If I had to play one, maybe Alshon, but I don't want to fall into a trap where you start your wide receiver on Thursday, he gets you 4 points, and now you have to wait 4 days until Sunday comes, seeing, oh my God, how did I play Alshon Jeffrey coming off a banged-up injury against a tough secondary? Why did I fall into that and play him? I should have just played somebody else on Sunday. So don't get too cute in playing Alshon unless you absolutely have to play him in a flex play. Aaron Rodgers is going to have a field day with the Philadelphia secondary, so it's an all systems go for every wide receiver on Green Bay, including Jimmy Graham as the tight end.
Yeah, and the game script would have Green Bay leading for most of this game. They're a 5.5-point favorite in Las Vegas here. The only way that Philadelphia could muster up a win out of this, I think, is to establish the run right away.
Yeah, Miles Sanders.
With Sanders and Howard. I think they kind of use everybody that they can. Don't just run with one running back, but kind of run with everybody, establish a run, and keep that defense tired, number one, and keep Aaron Rodgers off the field for as long as possible. If Wentz tries to come out and throw the ball 50 times, I just don't see them winning this game.
What about Zach Ertz? How do you feel about him?
Zach Ertz, actually, you have to play him more than likely because you drafted him probably the 3rd round of your redraft leagues. He's still a top 5 tight end, but Green Bay gives up the least amount of points to the tight end spot. So they guard the tight end well.
So the only one that I feel comfortable playing on Philadelphia, like is a must start, is Miles Sanders and probably Jordan Howard in your flex. I don't like any receivers on that team to say, like, look, all my chips are in this basket.
No. I mean, the one could get loose and have some,
breakout play. And if it's going to be that, it's going to be Nelson Aguilar for a long touchdown.
But picking the one to be it is not going to be it. You're not going to get it. You're not going to get that kind of consistency from all the guys.
I agree with that. That brings us to week 4. We drew for teams because Jay lost, so he got to choose first, and he took
Davante Adams for sure.
First pick was Davante Adams. I went next, and I took Aaron Rodgers and Miles Sanders, and then Jay was up for 2.
And I had to take Carson Wentz, which I don't love, and then I had to take Jordan Howard. I went with Howard over Aaron Jones or Jamal Williams because I believe that that's the only way that Philadelphia is going to be able to move the ball is on the run game against Green Bay. I don't think Aaron Jones is going to have a big game. I think it's going to be like you said. He's going to get his 15 carries, and I find it tough to see him go over 50 yards.
But what about the passing game of dump downs and everything that they keep saying they're going to try to get him involved in?
Until they give him more than 2 targets in a game, I can't trust that.
Okay, and then my last pick was Zach Ertz, which is the news before Jay told me that it was the toughest matchup for tight ends. So for James is Aaron Rodgers, Miles Sanders, Zach Ertz. For Jay, Carson Wentz, Davante Adams, Jordan Howard. Ready to spin? You lost?
I need to have Howard get a touchdown. You can spin this time, but if it lands on karaoke, it's karaoke. You've had the magic touch with it.
Oh, I've been waiting for this one. This is called hot chocolate. I bought these 2 chocolate bars on Amazon or some website. I think it was Amazon. I think they were Asian.
I think they were
Asian. No, I bought these chocolate bars on Amazon, and this is what they look like here if you're watching on YouTube. It's called the Coco Loco Challenge. It's spicy chocolate infused with the Black Reaper pepper. Supposed to be the hottest pepper, hotter than the Carolina Reaper pepper. But it's a little chocolate bar, which, one, I hate chocolate. Like, I've never been a fan of chocolate ever. But I thought it would be funny for Jay to try. Then when we got him in and we started seeing the videos of people doing it, we kind of said, ugh, like, maybe we don't want to do this for fun. It should be a punishment because it looked like people were literally puking or throwing up or doing whatever because it's not when you initially chew it, but apparently it's after you swallow it, the heat just comes out and it just sits right there in the back of your throat. So
sounds fun.
I think no matter who wins, it's going to be funny for the loser. I'm really hoping that it's not me because this is one that you don't mind spicy foods. I like spicy foods as well, but you take it to a whole nother level.
I do. I
Spicy, yeah.
I like spicy stuff, but I like the flavor of spicy. I don't like just like burn your ass hot just to be hot. Like I like flavorful spice.
And other reason why we bought it is for every bar that was purchased, Fuego Box donates $5 to the fight against prostate cancer. So it's a free commercial for them. If they end up seeing this video on YouTube next week, maybe they'll sponsor us. But recommend don't try it at home. But if you get a chance to watch it next week, this is one that I don't want to lose.
Is this just like a little nibble off the corner of the bar, or is this like a full on like half the bar?
You can make that decision. Here's the size of it. It's all wraps.
Yeah, I'm not gonna eat that whole thing. You don't plan on eating that whole thing, do you?
If I'm gonna
That's
lose,
a decent sized chocolate square.
If I'm gonna lose, I'm gonna eat at least half of this. I mean, what do you do? What do you do with the other half? Like, what am I gonna do?
Not give
throw
it
it
to the
away?
dog.
This thing was expensive, dude.
Not give it to the dog.
This is like $18, I think. Or
but what I'm
$20.
saying is, if you cut it in half,
okay.
now instead of us
Two
having
punishments?
two punishments, we have 4 punishments.
Okay. So half is the bet. You got to cut it in half. And yeah, good luck, man.
That's a gigantic box for such a little piece of chocolate.
I'm praying that if Devontae Adams goes off, it's at least obtainable to the fact that
Well,
I
it
can still
is
catch
because you
it.
have Aaron Rodgers.
Well, that's the reason I didn't want Aaron Rodgers right away, but I had to take a quarterback quick because you had Adams. I couldn't let you get that hookup. It's gonna be.
I was loving if you would have taken Carson Wentz because I already had the stats.
I would
Green Bay.
I would never take Carson Wentz on anything, ever. So
I
that'll
need
be
Howard to fall in the end zone. That's for sure.
That'll be the punishment. It's a Coco Loco challenge. So tune in for next Thursday, and we'll know by then. We'll actually know by Thursday night who won. So for me, for the game wise, I love the under. If I had to choose a side, it would be Green Bay on the money line. I think that they win this game. I don't know if they roll Philly. Philly doesn't seem to ever get blown out. So for Green Bay to have to win by 6 to cover the 5-point spread and to go under, it's a little too risky for me. So I think I'm going to take Green Bay on the money line with the under.
Okay, I like the under, and I actually like Green Bay. I think that every Thursday game until it goes over, I'm going to keep betting the under because it just seems like that's the trend nowadays. Thursday games go under.
I'd be willing to say they should get rid of the Thursday night game. I just don't see any value in playing on a short week, and the sloppiness that we've gotten so far kind of shows that these teams just aren't ready on Thursday night. Week 1 even they just weren't ready because they didn't play preseason.
They need
week
time.
2 is a short week.
They need time for their bodies to recover.
It looks like it's a lesser league. It doesn't even look like the NFL games.
It's all money.
So let them play on like a Saturday night or a Friday night. Let them play on a Friday night. I know there's college sometimes, but let them play on a Friday night. At least get that one more extra day of rest. So you have football on Friday, Sunday, Monday. Like that's enough.
Yeah. I think they get rid of the whole Thursday game too, in my opinion. Just keep it for Thanksgiving.
They should. You ready to crack one?
Let's crack it.
Let's crack it. All depends on the money, though. Doesn't matter what we think.